All right, I'm DJ Betts, and I'm here interviewing the lovely Miss Apablasa. How you doing? So, I want to ask her a few questions, and a few honest answers is what we expect.
Of course.
So, do you believe, as Thomas Merton did, that you really want to do God's will?
Absolutely. My own spirituality I see as a way to serve others, and I think, yeah, if we're really living as God wants us to, we're serving others. I agree with Merton.
Okay. Now, are there times when you feel there is no connection between God's will and your thoughts?
God's will and my thoughts?
Yes.
You know, yeah, sometimes there seems like a disconnect, right? Sometimes it seems like God's will doesn't match up with what I want to do, you know? But it's in those times that it's best to remember that everything works out. Especially as a teacher, I have a lot of control issues, right? So when I feel like I need to control everything, I think, God's will, I gotta put God's will first.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at what times in your life have you found it easy to trust in God? Like, what has helped?
Easy to trust in God. At what times in my life easy to trust in God? That's a hard question to answer. I would have to say I find it easiest to trust in God when I'm surrounded by my family. I would say my family inspires me. I come from a family of teachers and nurses, so we're servers. I think when I get inspired by them, I find it easy to trust that I'm doing the right thing because I'm in their company and God wanted us all together.
Okay. A few more questions.
Yeah.
At what times in your life have you found it difficult to trust in God?
I think when you're sent out on journeys by yourself and you're really unsure what the end of your journey is going to be, I think that's the hardest to trust in God's will and God's plan. I know when I left LA and I moved to Philadelphia and it was cold and I didn't know if I belonged there, it was really hard for me to trust that that's where God wanted me to be. So, yeah, when the end is unclear, it's hard.
All right. Last question. In the Merton prayer, Thomas Merton expresses that his faith in God is always with him. Do you feel that God is always with you? And what helps you to believe that He is with you?
Absolutely. Yeah, sometimes it's hard to remember that God's always with you. It reminds me of, is this the prayer you're talking about with the footprints?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so that's what I remember that prayer. I like that because it's a great analogy for for when you don't think God's with you. He is, he's just, you don't see it all the time. So yeah, I definitely agree with that in that. What was the question? Sorry,
In the prayer, he has a lot of faith in God. He believes that God is always
with him. So that's the question. Do I? Yeah. Yes. I think absolutely that God's always with me, whether I see Him or not, or whatever. Yeah, I would have to say my answer is yes. Although I do, being honest, have times where sometimes it seems like God's not there. But eventually down the road, time tells you that it is.
Okay, and that concludes our interview. Thank you again.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for coming by.
Yes, ma'am.